Hey guys, it's Rachel from The Little Green Lamb, and today I have a book review on Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. And I just finished this yesterday evening, and I really enjoyed it. It's a thriller, and it's an adult book, so it might be a little bit mature for some of you that are younger. If you're watching this, it does have some crude language and some reference to, well, not reference, but some sexual stuff. But besides that, it was a really good book. I just wanted to put that preface up there in case you are younger readers. This is probably not something that's appropriate for you. But yes, I'm just going to get into the review, and this is a no spoilers review. In case you need my book reviews or just need a reminder, I rate my books in 5 different categories: plot, characters, cover, suspense, and overall in terms of reading them very soon. 5 out of 5, not so soon. 1 out of 5. So basically, we're going to get started with a brief synopsis of the plot. So basically, I'm going to be looking in the back to read this because I don't want to spoil anything. Because you know, after you read a book and then you try to say the synopsis, you could accidentally slip something in. Yeah, I'm just going to be looking at the back. So basically, there's a reporter, Camille Precker, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. And basically, she lived in this town, Wind Gap, for all her life. And she moved to Chicago and is now working at a newspaper. She's a reporter. And she returns to Wind Gap to kind of report on the murder of 2 preteen girls in her town. And she hardly speaks to her mother because her mother is kind of crazy. She has a half-sister and a stepfather that, well, she doesn't really know her stepfather or her half-sister. Her half-sister's name's Amity, by the way, because I'm going to be making reference. And her sister is 13, so she's quite significantly younger than Camille. And now she's basically back in her old room, and she's basically dogged by her own demons, and basically she's unraveling who committed the murders and what all happened. And yeah, and also it has a little blurb from Stephen King on the back. I haven't read any Stephen King books, but he is a really well-known author. And I have one of his books, I just haven't read it yet, but I'm pretty sure he predominantly writes horror books. I'm not sure if they're horror or thriller. But he is very highly acclaimed, so that made me even more excited, even though I haven't read his works, but because he had a blurb on this that I found was very true. So basically, the plot, I give it a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love Gillian Flynn's books. Well, I've only read this one and Gone Girl, but I really like them in the sense that you kind of have an unreliable narrator, because the narrator, I don't know if this counts as unreliable, but the narrator kind of, especially in this one, you don't really know, like, they kind of just go by with their lives, and you're expected to kind of figure out what she's talking about. For example, she makes reference to Amity, or Amma, that's what they call her, just her full name's Amity. If I say Amity or Amma, it's the same person, for future reference. And basically, she, at the beginning, you didn't really know who she was. She's like, oh, Amma's over there, and you didn't know that was her sister and stuff like that. So it's kind of like you're figuring out with the narrator. I don't know what that would be called. I just really like her writing style. The plot was really good. The only thing, I was a little disappointed by the ending, but then I kept reading on, like, because it was close to the ending, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense. But actually, you know, like, at first I was, like, dissatisfied with the ending, because if you read it and then you go, I think there's an extra 2 chapters, and you kind of figure out more, and then you're like, oh my gosh. But I was like, because Gone Girl's ending wasn't my favorite, but I understood why it had to happen that way. But I really liked this. I found it very interesting. I'm very bad at mysteries. I kind of guessed who did it, but at the same time I was like, no, can't be. Because, you know, every character that I almost think every character is, even the main character. Like, I doubt everybody. I'm really bad at figuring out the mysteries, so that's why I enjoy these books, I think, more than more perceptive people, because I know my friend always guesses it right away. So yeah, I'm just not very good at that. Anyway, I'm getting too far into it. So we're going to move on to characters, which I also give a 5 out of 5. I really like the main character. She had a lot of struggles and stuff, but she was very realistic in the way that she acted. The characters in the town were very creepy. A lot of them are, okay, they're either really nice or really creepy. And most of them are really creepy. I especially found the main character's mother, who they call Adora, because that's her actual name, and her sister Amma. I found them very creepy, as well as her stepfather. Just everything was so creepy. Usually I'm one who, like, loves, like, books of, like, small towns and stuff, because I don't live in a relatively small town, but I live in a town. Well, I don't know if it'd be considered small. I don't know the requirements, but Anyway, I usually am one who likes towns because, you know, I grew up in one, but this town was so creepy. The characters were just weird, but at the same time, they were so creepy you wanted to keep reading to figure out why they were acting so creepy. And, like, it was just, yeah, creepy with some of the characters. So, cover, I give a 3.5 out of 5. Now, the cover, it doesn't have too much detail. Like, I love covers with details, but I do appreciate the green font over the black backdrop. I really enjoy that. And I don't know what this is. If somebody knows what that is supposed to be, because I'm not 100% sure. Like, I think it's supposed to be a blade of some sort. So I'm just going to put it here. If anybody knows what that is actually supposed to be, if you could let me know, that'd be great. But I was kind of confused by that, that's why. And yeah, it's just not very... I'm one who likes bright colors. If you watch more of my reviews, you'll see that I tend to love the more brightly colored books. Nothing against the darker colors, but I'm just one who loves bright colors. I'm not really into the shades and stuff. So, but I really do like the green against the black. It does really make it pop, but there's nothing really too exciting on this cover. Also, moving on to Suspense, I gave the Suspense a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love the suspense in this book. It was so creepy. I wanted to know what happened. Of course, with a thriller, you want to know what happened. I was reading this in between classes when I got home from school, just dying to know what was happening. It took me a while. I probably could have finished this if it was somewhere in like 2 days, probably less, because it is a thriller and you want to keep reading. But I had schoolwork and I was trying to do my schoolwork quick. Well, not quick, but get it done and on my way, don't procrastinate, so I could get to the book. And I really did enjoy it. It was very suspenseful, and it definitely was a really good thriller because I find her thrillers aren't like that scary. I'm not one who watches horror films or really any thriller films. I get scared pretty easily, and I find her books not to be too scary that you'd have like nightmares or anything. I'm a scaredy cat, so take it on my word if you want. If you're very scared, I think this would be fine, but the creepiness factor is higher than I'd say Pretty Little Liars, way higher, but not exceeding like a horror film, like something really scary. Unless certain elements like death and stuff scare you, then yeah, but I didn't find it scary. It didn't make me scared at all. And that made it more suspenseful because I wasn't freaked out. Overall, I give this book a 5 out of 5. I definitely read it again soon. I definitely want to read Dark Places, which is another one I own by Gillian Flynn, because I really like her writing and her books. I definitely read this again very soon because it's not only a short read, but a very good read. And yeah, that has been my review on Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!